questions I want to ask.
Yeah, we are just gonna do a chit chat today because we didn't have because life.
Life and Christmas
Welcome.
and everything.
And Sagittarius, right? We were too optimistic about all the crap we could fit in, so we have to squeeze in a podcast recording at the very last minute.
At 10 at night before the night before it's releasing. But that's fine.
It's fresh. It's a freshie.
Ooh, it's warm and stinky, I was gonna say. Warm and steamy. Steamy. A steamy fresh one.
Steamy. Oh, that's great. That's great. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, what are we chatting about today?
Well, I was thinking that you know a lot about asteroids and I don't. And I would like
some about asteroids. I've been playing with them.
Yes, you have. A lot though.
Yeah, probably.
Somewhat. And I would like to learn. And I think that a lot of people listening would love to learn some as well. Like the asteroid I know the most about is Chiron, because that's always been there in the chart, like in every birth chart I look at.
Yeah.
Chiron is there.
Chiron definitely stepped it up into the playing field in astrology the last few years. Like he really made an appearance.
Yeah.
And there it is. I think asteroids are amazing. I think they bring in a more, I know if Chiron is mostly considered a masculine asteroid, but the rest of them are mostly feminine energy. And I think they bring in a feminine touch to balance out the birth chart, right? There's a lot of planets that really have this kind of masculine vibe to them, aside from typically Venus and the moon, and maybe a little bit Neptune-y could be some kind of feminine energy, but it's too nebulous to tell.
Yeah. Is it like, because with Chiron, it's not like the planets, like it shows you your personality. It more Chiron shows you your wound. Like it's more like something you have in the backpack, not a characteristics. Is it the same with all asteroids, that they bring something like a pointer or like or do they?
I love that what you just said, like a pointer. Yeah. Especially Vesta. Vesta's been the latest one I've been playing with. She is like the newest one in my repertoire here I've been playing with. Vesta, the way I'm understanding her is like, this is how I understand the Olympic torch, right? So the Olympic torch is a symbol that somebody carries, and like people follow it, they flock to it, and they watch it, and it's revered, right? It's this reverend kind of energy, and that's what Vesta symbolizes in our chart. So this, where Vesta is, my understanding of it is that's like the guiding light, or the spiritual pull, or the flame, the Olympic flame of our chart. Does that make sense?
Would you mind pulling up my chart so we can, because now I'm super intrigued, because I've looked at my chart, my birth chart, so many times, and a couple of times I've looked at it with the asteroids, but I've not ever really dived into it, so I don't even know where Vesta is in my chart. Like I don't even remember. That's how little I have looked at the asteroids in my chart, actually.
Yeah, let me pull this up. I will, if you are listening, you will have to listen to our description. If you want to watch this and you're a visual person, you can go to YouTube and check this out. But yeah, so Vesta, doesn't she, look at, she's right here at 6 degrees Virgo in your chart. Doesn't she look like an Olympic torch, right? Like here's the little basin, and then there's like a little Z over the top.
Fire,
yeah. It looks like the little flame, right?
It does. So that's, what did you say about that? That's where you're supposed to, that's like a flame showing you. No.
Yeah, so this is like the sacred feminine, like a creative energy. It's really this, like your plans or your goals, right? The Olympic torch, like here's our plan. Our plan is to come together and work together, and everybody have fun with these games, and the best person win, and like these are our plans. And the feminine drive, or the spirit, or the Does that make sense? Am I getting through?
Actually, I look confused. I feel a little confused. I'm trying to figure out how it shows up in like what that means, because mine is in Virgo, then in the 7th house.
Right. Right. So, well, let's look. So I'm just I'm pulling right now from astrology.com. So this is asteroid. Vesta is the asteroid of spirituality. So while our Roman, hang on, let me get to a point where it makes sense. As one of the 3 virgin goddesses, Vesta reminds us of our holiness, our wholeness, and the power inherent in our own life.
Power inherent in our own life.
Yeah. So, sorry, our own life force. I had an ad pop up here. Our own life force energies. Would you just stay, please? The ad keeps jumping around. Separate from others, particularly our romantic partners or our ideas, like these ideas that are of this kind of romantic nature. Or whenever I think of romantic, I think of this idealized thing. What's the idealized energy? So in Greek translation, the word virgin meant one unto herself, as it referred to, why does this keep jumping? This is driving me nuts. As it referred to an unmarried maiden. This ad is rather than the purely sexual connotation of our language today. So it referred to an unmarried maiden. However, this also explains Vesta's claim to fame as a goddess who refused to marry powerful gods, Apollo or Poseidon. Though may have taken them as lovers, we can't be sure. Vesta became even more powerful, or more of a household name in ancient Roman times with the cult of the Vestal Virgins. Ooh, that sounds interesting. These women kept the sacred fires burning that protected the city from strife and honored Vesta through her chastity. However, if any of them were caught having sex during their 30-year term, they were buried alive outside the gates of Rome. So wheeze, man. The Romans didn't screw around, did they? So astrologically, Vesta was discovered in 1807 and is officially classified as a dwarf planet. Also, Pluto is considered a dwarf planet as well. It orbits the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. In our birth charts, Vesta represents what is most sacred to us. Okay. Vesta reminds us of our devotion to a spiritual path and where we find sacred in our lives. So yours would be with a partner, so 7th house, and Virgo would be health, wellness, gardening, food, foundational.
That makes so much sense. Yes.
Foundational
okay,
energy.
yeah, that is the
that's
the essence of like my actually that makes so much sense.
Doesn't it?
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because I have this like the essence of what not what I'm doing or even who I am, but what I strive for, what I feel is the actually funny word, purest, being in Virgo. It's like that lifestyle of when I and this is, I've been talking so much about my dream of moving to a cottage. It's part of that, moving to a cottage so I can grow my own food, so I can be closer to nature, so my health can be better, so I can, be closer to myself, like more in touch with my spirituality, like all of those things. And everything of that is what I feel you described, Vesta.
Yeah, and volunteering, I think too. Virgo really represents like that service-oriented heart, right? Volunteering for, daily things, and you volunteer with your local community garden.
And I've been volunteering in other places as well, because I feel like that's an important part of what I feel is like a healthy life, or like what a good life,
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Isn't that interesting?
Vesta packed a punch.
Yes, she did. Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know about the Roman story about the virgins being killed, but whatever.
That is so crazy. Like, I'm discovering new things in the chart. Okay, so we have Vesta. Yeah. And is that your favorite asteroid?
No, she's the newest one. I've just started playing with her, so I don't even know if I like her yet.
But do you have a favorite one then? Or
yes.
do you not have favorites?
Yes, I do. My favorite's down here at 1 degree Aries in your chart. This is Ceres. Or Ceres, some people call her too, but Ceres is her name, and she is probably my most favorite. I actually just pulled her card last night in my oracle deck, and Ceres is amazing because when I'm doing readings for people, I really pull in a lot of health and self-care stuff and just taking care of yourself. And that's really what Ceres is all about. She is the asteroid, I think, that represents self-care the best, because she's all about mothering, nurturing, nourishing. How do you nourish your physical body? How do you nourish your spiritual body? How do you nourish your emotional body? That's really what Ceres brings about. And I really love her for that, because I think it's so important to kind of have that knowledge for yourself. If we don't know how we need to feel nourished and nurtured and, really do our own personal self-care, like, how are we going to do it? Really?
So I need to be active.
Yeah, you need to, exactly. And because yours is conjunct Mars in that first house in Aries, for you, nourishing yourself would be, yeah, absolutely. Activity, exercise, movement, play, and doing new things, trying new things. Go out and do axe throwing, or, go to just.
I would love that, actually.
Right? Something that's fun and new that you haven't done. Maybe you go ice skating, maybe you go skiing, maybe, right? Physical things, because Aries, every time I think of Aries, I think of physicality, right? Just like a toddler that just needs to run.
Yeah.
So for you, very much need to be nourished and nurtured by these new activities, and you get bored easily. So your nourishment has to keep changing and transforming. And if you don't do it, you could easily get angry. Like, that'd be the first symptom, I would say, that to know if you are not filling your bucket in the right way. I think anger would be probably one of the first things that would pop up. Is that accurate?
I think I could get angry, but it doesn't really come out as anger.
I was gonna say, it might not show on the outside as anger, but it's inside.
Yeah, I'm way too much Capricorn for like,
right,
to come out in a healthy way like that. No, it makes a travel around in the system, and then I realize that I'm angry.
Yeah, absolutely. When I read my Star Codes Astro Oracle book, it says for Ceres, mother and be mothered, nurture and cultivate that which is growing, whether it's the harvest from the earth, the child from the womb, or the art from the artist. Love and nurture your own body with healthy whole foods. Take them as communion with the organic world. Feel the earth beneath you, holding you, loving you through hard times. Let this abundance flow through you to others. Advocate for those who are weaker, vulnerable, or dependent. So this is really just making sure that you're doing that caretaking of yourself so that you can give to others. This is probably my favorite asteroid for sure.
Yeah.
But you have her, I think, in a square to Saturn. So you don't actually feel that she's all that important, because Saturn goes, no, we have other things to work on. So you've got that need to go play and be active, but Saturn will tell you, no, well, you have to go work. This isn't mature, right? Like, there's that square energy talking, like, nope, I have to work now. No, you need to get your ass outside and go run around like a little kid. It's recess time. Let's go play.
It's so true. And it's part of, also Chiron is there with this T-square.
Yes. So Chiron in the other side square, and that one's in the 6th house of being of service to others. No, I can't go play. I have to go to work. I have to take care of my friend. I have to go do this for grandma. I have to go do this for I don't have 15 minutes to go play and do recess. No. Meanwhile, you're getting angry inside because you're giving to everyone else and you're working too hard and you're not playing.
That made me a little bit sad.
I know. Sorry.
No, it's so, I mean, it's because it's true. It's
true. Yeah. And your square is pretty tight to Chiron. So that 3-degree Chiron and 1-degree Ceres is real tight. And that's probably the biggest factor. Yeah, Saturn's involved in there too. But that Chiron is going to be your self-esteem, self-worth thing. Like, oh, I'm not going to put myself first. I have to put that person first, right? I have to think of how I can be of service to this person, or I have to help my mom with, grandma's apartment or whatever it is, right? And that's where the putting your self-care first is going to be difficult, specifically for you because of that square.
Yeah.
This is where astrology helps because you can go, oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is that square. And then you add on the Capricorn moon in the 12th house, which makes it just hard.
You're so service oriented and so not wanting to rock the boat, not wanting to make others mad. And at the same time, Mars and Ceres next to each other in Aries in the 1st house are going, hey, you need to do you. Come on, let's go play. Come on, let's go do the monkey bars. Come on. And everyone else is going, no.
I can't do that.
I can't do that. I can't do that. This is why you have to do it, though. Go play. Do you have a playful friend? Do you have a friend that will play with you or remind you to play?
I do. I have one really playful friend. Like the most. She's a Leo.
The most playfulest.
Yeah, she's super playful. She lives in another city.
Okay.
But I've been seeing a little bit more of her lately, so that's nice.
But you could even, with what's really cool with technology is you can even play through, with the phone. Like you guys can be on like screens together and go for a walk together, like together, right? Or you can she can text you and go, hey, it's time to play, right? You can ask her for reminders to have her text you or send you fun little game ideas or say, hey, I really need help playing more. Will you help me stir this up?
Yeah.
So I can do this a little bit more.
Yeah.
And even if she's not near you, she can still utilize that energy. And also my sun is at 8 degrees Aries, so I can remind you too.
Thank you. I'll
jump in.
I need it.
I'll volunteer from America.
Yeah. Oh, this is so much insight, and this is just 2 asteroids, and I am a little bit blown away because I haven't looked at these.
Isn't that interesting? And Ceres also involves a lot of food. So this is how you feed yourself. I was going to ask. Too. Yeah. So with Ceres in Aries, do you like spicy food?
I don't mind it, but it's not something that I need.
I would think that playing more with spicy food, or not necessarily like super, super hot, but like just adding a little bit more heat to your dishes, like that makes me smile just thinking about it. Like think about Aries. It's spice. It's caliente. You got it, and it's just 1 degree Aries, so you're just a little baby spice, right? Little baby spice.
I do like a little baby spice.
Yeah, a little bit. But you have a partner who is from a homeland that uses a lot of spices.
Yeah.
And so you could use that, right? Like be like, hey, can you help me add some more? Just a little heat. You don't need to knock your socks off. You're not at 28 degrees Aries. You're at 1. Little baby spice. So I would encourage you to try new foods, maybe from different ethnic regions, different cultures, different herbs, different spices, and play with your food. Play. Different styles, different whatevers.
Mm.
That would make sense to me for sure.
I will do that.
Yeah.
I will do that. How many asteroids do we have in here? 1, 2, 3.
I added
5.
Vesta up here in Virgo, 6 degrees Virgo, and then Ceres is 1 degree Aries. And then we've got Chiron at 3 Cancer. But in Cancer, you also have this one. This is like the little
That's a
sparkler,
funny looking one.
like pom-pom.
That's a really weird looking one.
I feel like it's a little sparkler guy. This is Juno. I really like Juno. She is in mythology, she is Jupiter's wife. So she represents partnership. So this is like the long-term partners that you really do well with. These are the people that this is the energetic signature that you really just want around you long-term.
That's funny.
Yours is 10 degrees Cancer in the 6th house. So we've got someone who's good with food, nourishment, compassion, healing, feelings, and then also very service oriented, very much like daily routines, doing the daily with you. That's really important. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's funny because my boyfriend is a Cancer rising, and my ex was a Sun in Cancer. And I do love Cancers. Like people with a lot of Cancer in their chart, I just really, really love that energy.
Isn't that awesome? I have my North Node is in Cancer in the 2nd house, 1st and 2nd house. So I show up Gemini at first, but then I've got quite a strong, even though there's not planets there's quite a strong Cancer energy in me because it's 1st house and then also foundational 2nd house. Like that's, and then of course, since I've had a bajillion children, that side has come out. But in my book, it says the asteroid Juno points out how you may have been trained to choose between love and work and offers clues on how to balance them instead. This asteroid was named after the daughter of Saturn and wife of Jupiter and mother of Mars. Well, I didn't know all that stuff.
Oh, they're all family.
Oh, yeah. We'll have Elliot on and he can tell you all of the weird gods and all of their connections. Half of them they're all inbred. It's crazy. She is queen, the organizer of society, and she rules the roost. Juno and Jupiter modeled an uneasy but equal partnership that took a lot of work and had great rewards. So the action for this particular asteroid is in work and love. Juno wants you to trust that you can hold steady on your life's path and develop equal partnerships. So get in there and wrestle to make the relationship work. Research healthy relationship skills and study negotiation and meditation techniques. Practice respect, communication, love, and conflict resolution between the various facets of your own personality. Like Juno and Jupiter, strive to become two whole, empowered souls who can express their individual potential, work around each other's foibles, and find balance. The gift, true partnership, is a spiritual path. Its sacred acts are the practice of healthy relationship skills. These skills begin within you. So, Juno is asking you to really work on compassionate, nurturing aspects for yourself so that you can exhibit that within partnership on the daily.
Yeah, just that sentence really, I feel like that just like it's all you need to say. It's like, okay, great.
Is it right? It just like, ta-da, that's it. What do you think of that asteroid? Had you learned much about her before?
No, not like I've heard the name Juno, but I didn't know really what she meant. And it is so interesting because I've been thinking about that, why I'm pulled to like Cancer energy. And I mean, it's also because my ascendant is in Capricorn and I'm looking for the opposite.
Yeah.
Um,
She's just
but also
opposite
Juno's same.
your Neptune at 8 degrees Capricorn. So she's
Ooh,
opposite your
right.
spirituality. So, obviously you can't just look at things by themselves in a birth chart. So I would say your partner and partners, whoever, friends, long-term friendships, relationships, need to very much be on a spiritual basis. Like there has to be an element of woo and weirdness and nebulousness and flexibility.
Look at that trine to Pluto in Scorpio as well.
Exactly. You have to have that. Yeah, and it's almost exact trine to Pluto and Scorpio at 9 degrees Pluto in partnership. So like you have to have somebody who can go deep and handle your intensity, right? There's a depth to you that's quite intense. And your partner needs to be able to handle that part about you as well. But also there's got to be this compassionate understanding for your own intensity. And that's something that some people don't like their own intensity. I know it took me about 40 years to learn to like mine. So, here we are.
Yeah, during my Pluto transits over Neptune, Moon, and Ascendant, I got to know my intensity, and but I didn't before. I didn't know that part of me because it was very deep and quite scary.
Yeah.
But now I know it, and it's so nice because it's I mean, it's not a bad place. All that depth,
Yeah. And for you, it's connected to your North Node, like your spiritual mission, that direction, right? In Pisces. So you definitely have this interesting trine going on with Pluto, North Node, and Juno that really is asking you, in order for you to have healthy partnership, you have to have compassion for yourself on the daily. You have to lean into that for yourself. Daily basis, right? And I think that goes back to series and making sure you're playing, making sure you're nourishing yourself and trying new things and having fun. Because not only do you have Juno in Cancer, you also have your Chiron. So that's that. Oh, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't know if I'm smart enough. Right? There's a lot of worry with Chiron. So
and I've been diving into that one. Like that one, I've been really, because there's so much to learn about Chiron, I feel like, and this is really, oh my God, it's so much like psychology work, like therapy work with yourself around that, just that asteroid. So that I've really been like working with that.
Yeah. Just Chiron alone, I feel like, is enough of an asteroid to deal with when it comes to that kind of personal development. But then you bring in Ceres and you bring in, well, how do I need to be nourished? How do I need to feel, feed myself? How do I need to feel nurtured and mothered? And, how am I in family relationships or whatever, right? Like that's so important with Chiron. Like just reading about Chiron is like, okay, so I've got this wound and I need to heal it. Okay. And what else is there, right? Well, there's Ceres. Let's learn about her and how you fill your bucket. And then there's Vesta, who is this feminine, like light guiding force, right? This important factor of this feminine healing energy. And then there's Pallas Athena. I like her.
I know you do.
Pallas Athena, I think her and Ceres are probably tied for my favorites. She is all about thinking. And because I got so much Mercury, Gemini stuff going on in my chart, I love this one. To me, Pallas Athena, this is how I've pictured her in my head. I picture Mars as like this big burly guy, like walking into the bar, right? and he's got a hot head, and he's kind of looking to pick a fight, right? Because it's Mars, because he likes fighting. It's fun. So he's looking to kind of piss someone off. But like his girlfriend, Pallas Athena over here, she knows what's up with him, and she's watching him real close. And he starts getting into it, and she walks up, pulls him by the shirt, and says, "Honey, sit down. Mama's got this." And she comes in with her like intelligence and her feminine charm, and she goes, "Okay, what do we need to do here?" Right? Like she just knows how to negotiate. She knows how to work her skills. She knows. She's smart. She's wisdom. Well, what is wisdom if not knowledge that you've acquired through experience that you now can put into play in future experiences? So Pallas Athena to me is the feminine counterpart to Mars, which Mars is important. We need that guy. We need that burly guy who's like ready to go to war. Like, what did you say? What'd you say? Oh, come on, let's go outside, right? And she's like, "Honey, sit down. And she's the chief negotiator. So she came out of Zeus's head, her father, because that's how babies are made in Greek mythology land. And so she emerged out of her father's head, fully dressed in battle armor, ready to go to war, although not liking war or wanting it. She just understands that is an option and a potential in this, man's world. And so she has that energy of like, I'll take you down. I don't want to. Let's talk. But I'll go. Right? So she's got this energy of like, I will go to battle and I know how to win because I've done this before, but I don't really want to because that wastes all our resources. It kills all my guys. And, like, let's just go talk about this and work this out before we send in the troops. And so she's the one in the tent, negotiating so that we don't have to go to war. I really think when it comes to parenting, especially, and with my Cosmic Mama Collective, this is the one I want to do a lot more work with mothers, because as mothers, we need to know where our feminine wisdom is. We've got to know how to pull from that shit, right? We've got to know how to dig in our purse of goodie bag from Hermione Granger and pull out the thing we need, right? So for you, she's in your first house in Aquarius at 12 degrees. So your brilliance, your wisdom comes from the weirdo alien energy of who knows where. The weirder, the better. The more out of the box, the better. The more unique the style, the better. The more eclectic the idea, the better. That's how your wisdom is. Does that make sense?
Yeah, for sure.
Have you come up with just unique, weird ideas? Like
all the time. I tell you, all the time. And no, honestly, it's yeah. I mean, I do a lot of like when I go to bed and before I fall asleep, I like to think about, I mean, I just have a lot of ideas, and because I'm so Capricorn ruled, a lot of those ideas involve like how to go about being productive and how to go about, but it's all about like how to, and it's at work, it's just if a problem occurs, like today, I work in a hotel and it's been so cold in Stockholm now. It's been so cold. And I was just like blurting out ideas about how we can manage these problems. Like, yeah, ideas I don't lack. I love it.
I love it. And for you, you are great at negotiating things by thinking of ways to do things that they've never been done before, right? Like, especially when you're at work, if you see something being done the same way and it's just not functioning well, or these two people are not working well, you'll come in with like swoop in from the sky with an idea that just nobody had ever considered before. And that creates just this more harmonious environment. Everybody's much happier because Aquarius loves this harmonious energy within groups, right? So you're great at that, negotiations within people, within groups, that kind of thing. Ooh, that's your skill set. And because it's your first house, it's very Aries kind of ways of doing it, right? Very
Yeah.
airy energy of, you don't mind coming up with this a new idea and launching it. Like, that's fine. That works for you.
Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I do see this a lot in me at work, how I like solve problems.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much for this. Do you do like readings, like only asteroid readings? If you don't, I think you should.
Oh my gosh, I don't. I should. That sounds fun. Look at you. Of course you would have interesting ideas about astrology, right? Aquarius astrology. That's fun.
No, but
I
honestly, because I feel like this was like seeing my chart again. Like, this was like you took my asteroid virginity. That's what I feel. You were the very first one.
My Mars and Pallas Athena are right next to each other, 11 and 12 degrees in Libra. And for some reason, you saying that makes me just feel so good. Like, I'm like, of course, I'll take your virginity, sure.
No, but this was so great, and it's so I don't know. I love that thing, like just focusing on these 5 asteroids.
Yeah.
And I mean, Chiron I knew before, but still, and like just that, like no sun, no moon, like I know those things. I know a lot about those, but just that. And even if I've never seen my chart ever before, this would give me so much information.
Right. I think even the last year and a half, I've been like really looking into asteroids and really studying them. The most benefit I got was Ceres is in the 6th house for me in Scorpio. So what that tells me is, I'm going to have intense stuff on the daily, right? Like, I'm going to need to nourish myself in a very intense way, pretty much daily. And there's a lot of service energy as well. Well, that's literally how I've set up my life, by homeschooling my children and being entrepreneur at home. And there's a lot of daily stuff in this very small environment. It's quite intense. There's a lot of power dynamics and stuff. And it's so interesting to learn about that and then watch it play out over time and just kind of keep it ruminating in the back of your mind. And then the most helpful for me was when I learned about Ceres and I was really diving into her with Scorpio. I learned through reading a couple different articles and books that Scorpio Ceres has a very interesting connection with food and struggles with food really bad. There's like almost like this love-hate relationship with food. And it reminds me of the tango. Have you ever seen somebody dance the tango? It's this dance of love and hatred, and I love you and I hate you, and it's very passionate, and then it's get away from me, right? This is the shit I deal with food. It drives me nuts. It has my whole entire life. It's made me so frustrated, and I know we've talked about it on the show before too, and I never understood it until I read about Ceres, and I was like, oh, this makes sense why I would be so passionate about farming and preserving food and planting trees and growing all the food, but then not actually eating it.
Yeah.
Not wanting to eat it, but wanting to have it and store it and save it and preserve it in the basement, in the dark, right? But I don't want to eat it right now, right? It's super weird shit. And I'm like,
Whoa.
oh, okay.
Do you feel like you eat, like you can enjoy food more when you eat alone?
Yes, 100%. Yes. And I eat very much like with the current, right? The current of the waters, and I don't have to eat on other people's schedules and feed myself because the kid is, everyone's eating. Yeah, it's very much doing my own thing.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's your own very private thing almost.
Yeah.
How fast I mean, do they all travel the same sort of speed, or are they very different to each other?
No, they're weird. They're weird. Chiron's super weird because here's what's interesting about Chiron. His orbit goes through between Saturn and Uranus. So Chiron goes in between our visible planets and the invisible planet, or the first set of planets, or the outer planets, we call them. But the first set of planets we needed a telescope for. So Chiron goes between the conscious or visible and the unconscious, the invisible. So this wound, yeah, there it is. The wound sometimes comes to the conscious mind and is, oh, ouch, that's painful. I'm going to avoid it. And then it goes into the unconscious realm, and then it comes back up, and then it goes, right? And it keeps doing that kind of goofy spiral effect. And it's got an orbit that's like an egg. It's really weird. So Chiron's super goofy. If you ever want to look at it, go to YouTube and look up the orbit of Chiron. It's kind of fascinating. And then the rest of them I have to check because they play around in like the asteroid belt and stuff. So I gotta check their
but they're not like super slow. Like, oh no, we don't know. We're gonna check, look it up. Yeah,
check it out. But I also found through parenting that knowing where Pallas Athena was made me feel like I found my superpower with parenting, because she's this feminine wisdom. And for me, she's in the 5th house of children, fun and play and creativity. And she's right next to Mars, and she's in Libra. So this tells me, I don't want to fight. Like, at all. I don't want to. I will if I freaking have to, but I don't want to. And I really don't want to, like, I'm very focused on harmony and fairness and justice, right? We got Mars, we got Pallas Athena, and we got Libra, and then of course my kids. So when my kids start throwing shit at me, I know that inside of me, I'm always striving to negotiate for fairness and peace and harmony. Like, that is where I am going, and I will fight for that. And if I'm angry and Mars kicks in, it's because there's been a freaking injustice, and now I'm pissed. Right? Now now she had to let her dude go, and now he's coming in to fight, right? So like for me, because they're right next to each other holding hands, I've got like this lover couple here of Pallas Athena and Mars, but they're in harmony with each other. They want to be peaceful. Mine don't want to fight at all. And then when my kids like make me, right, and I have to step up and say, I have spoken up several times. I have asked nicely. I have made lists. You know the rules. You're being disrespectful, and now I'm pissed, right? But when I do that, I know it's because I have given it all of the negotiation I can. I have done all of the battle strategies. I've tried to negotiate for peace, and now we have to send in the troops. Okay, well, you asked for it, right? So that has actually helped me to really feel better about my parenting and better about when I do get angry. Like, damn it, they called it out. I tried. I sent my negotiator to the tent. You guys didn't show up at the deal, so okay. Put your battle gear on. Here we go.
Oh yeah, I see that.
So it's been that to me, just that one knowledge, that one aspect of my chart has just made me feel so much better about how I parent. So much.
Because then you recognize the part of yourself, like, actually this is my gift. This is how I try, and sometimes it's just not enough.
Yep. And sometimes they need Mars to come out. Sometimes it needs to happen. So I love using the asteroids more and more and more. I'm pulling them into readings. I think they're really important, especially for doing the personal development work, right? The stuff that I know people are really looking for. Knowing how you nourish yourself and how you should feed yourself. Yes, please. Yeah. We should know that.
Like this session, it gave me a lot to think about. Like, because I recognize so many, and it's like with astrology, you learn about it, and then you recognize it, and you bring it into your life, and you're like, yeah, okay, that does show up. Okay, now I understand why it shows up. Yes. And how I can use it.
Yes.
So interesting.
Now you know your kind of stroke of geniusness or your wisdom. It comes from this genius Aquarius, and that your ideas should be weird. Your negotiation tactics should be really, really strange and eclectic. Yeah. They need to be.
Yeah.
I like that. Well, I'm glad you found that helpful. Hey, anytime. Thanks for asking. It's fun to explore those with you. Yeah. Now, make sure you do some play and try some spicy food.
Yeah, I will do both of those things.
I'll do that.
Yeah.
Well, this was a fun little chat we had today. Our last minute recording.
Yeah. And if you have listened to this so far and you have not yet checked out our Monday episodes this month, please do. On Mondays we release, or only this month on Mondays, we have been releasing the upcoming transits and events in the sky of the month of December. So be sure to go back in time and listen to 2 weeks ago Monday, this Monday, this last Monday, this coming Monday.
Yep.
Do it.
Get yourself set before the end of the year. Get your calendar prepared.
A lot of good stuff.
Yeah. There. I actually love writing just a few little notes on my calendar. It doesn't have to be a lot, but like, hey, shop for underwear today. Whatever it is. It's helpful to me to just know that on this day, this is not a good working day. I'm gonna not even try. Yeah. Right. So that's the kind of thing that's really helpful for me with the transits.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, we're gonna let you go to bed.
Thanks.
You've been working. So thanks for listening, everybody, and we can't wait to tune in next time. Take care. Link in the show notes. Your financial support means the world to us. Join us next time.